Welcome, my friend. Welcome back to this quiet little corner of the internet. Here we sit together. Here we breathe together. Slowly, we tell ourselves the truth. Today we are going to talk about something tender. Something that lives under the surface of so many lives. Something most people are too tired to name out loud. Something most people are too afraid to even whisper. We are going to talk about toxic people. Not the strangers. Not the villains in movies. The real ones. The ones who share your last name. The ones who text you good morning while quietly draining your life. The ones whose voices live inside your head. Long after the room is empty, they keep speaking. Before we begin, I want you to feel safe here. This is not a video full of anger or bitterness. This is not a video that calls anyone evil. This is a video about you, my friend. About the part of you that has carried too much, for too long. For people who never noticed your weight. If you walk on eggshells in your own home, this video is for you tonight. If you feel guilty every time you protect your peace, this video is for you tonight. If you keep apologizing to people who never apologize back, this video is for you tonight. If your stomach tightens when a certain name lights up your phone, this video is for you tonight. If you have been told you are too sensitive, too dramatic, too much, when really you are tired of being treated as too little, then this video is for you, my friend. You are not crazy. You are not cruel for noticing. You are not weak for finally feeling tired. You are simply waking up. And waking up always feels uncomfortable before it ever feels free. So tonight, my friend, we will do two things together. Just two simple things, slowly, together. First, we will look honestly at the patterns of toxic people. Not to judge, not to plot revenge, only to see clearly. Because clarity is the first form of self-respect. Clarity is where every healing begins. Second, we will practice this together in slow, simple English. Every sentence will be short. Every word will be gentle. Every idea will repeat, so your mind can rest, so your heart can listen, and your tongue can quietly learn. This is what we do here, my friend. We heal the heart. We train the language. At the same time, before we go further, do me one small favor. If this voice has ever felt like a friend to you, gently tap that subscribe button. Not because I need it, because someone out there needs this video too. The algorithm only shows it to them when you whisper, "Yes, this matters." That little tap is your quiet kindness to a stranger. Now let me tell you what is coming tonight. We will walk through 9 steps, 9 truths, 9 doors. Each one will help you see toxicity clearly. Each one will help you take your power back without hate, without screaming, without becoming the thing you are trying to escape. Some of these steps will sting a little. That is okay. Truth always stings before it heals. Like cold water on a fresh wound. Like sunlight after long darkness. By the end of this video, your shoulders will sit a little lower. Your jaw will unclench. Your chest will feel a small, open space. And maybe, just maybe, you will hear your own voice again. The real one. The soft one. The one underneath all the noise. So take a slow breath with me. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. Put the phone down for a second. Sit somewhere where no one is watching. Let your shoulders drop. Let your face soften. Let this hour belong only to you. You have spent so long carrying everyone else. Tonight, you carry only yourself. And I will walk beside you the whole way. Let us begin with step 1. Step 1. See the pattern, not the apology. The step where most healing actually begins. Before you can heal from a toxic person, you must do something very brave. You must stop watching their words and start watching their pattern. Not the apology, not the promise, not the soft message at midnight. Most people stay stuck because they keep trusting the words. The words sound right. The words feel warm. The words say, "I am sorry. It will not happen again." And every time, you want to believe, because the part of you that loves them is louder than the part of you that remembers. Here is the truth most people never accept. A pattern always tells you the truth that words try to hide. You can lie with words. You cannot lie with a pattern. Patterns are slow, honest, and patient. They speak quietly. They speak forever. And they always tell the real story. If someone hurts you, apologizes, and hurts you again the same way, that is not a mistake. That is the pattern. If someone shouts at you, then buys you flowers, the flowers are not the truth. The shouting is. If someone vanishes when you need them and reappears when they need you, the apology is not the truth. The vanishing is. Healing begins the moment you stop reading their best sentence and start reading their longest paragraph. Imagine a small candle in a very dark room. Every time you light it, you feel hopeful. The light is soft. The shadows step back. You can see your hands. You can see the door. But every time you turn around, someone walks in and blows the candle out. They smile. They say, "I did not mean to." They light it again. You forgive them. You sit down. And then they blow it out again. Year after year. Apology after apology. Light after darkness after light. And slowly, you forget what a fully lit room even feels like. Now imagine you stop watching their hands light the candle. You start watching how often the room goes dark. And in that moment, you finally understand. The problem was never the candle. The problem was never you. The problem was always the breath that kept blowing it out. There was a woman named Selena. She loved her sister with her whole heart. Her sister called her every Sunday. Her sister said sweet words on her birthday. Her sister cried beautifully when Selena was upset. But every time Selena succeeded, her sister disappeared. Every time Selena was sad, her sister made it about herself. Every time Selena set a boundary, her sister called her cold. For 20 years, Selena collected the sweet sentences and ignored the cruel weeks. One night, she sat down with a notebook. She wrote one column for kind words, one column for actions. The kind words filled half a page. The actions filled 15 pages. She closed the notebook. She did not cry. She did not scream. She just whispered, "Oh, I see you now." From that day, Selena stopped arguing with the words. She started trusting the pattern. So today, my friend, your first step is this. Take a quiet pen. Take a quiet page. Write down the last 5 things this person did. Not said, did. Just did. Then read the page out loud, slowly. Without defending them. Without explaining. Without softening. Be honest. Be kind. Be clear. Then ask yourself one question. If a stranger did these 5 things to my best friend, what would I tell my best friend? Whatever you would tell your best friend, that is what you must tell yourself. So from today, say this. I trust the pattern. I release the apology. And I see clearly now. That is step 1. See the pattern, not the apology. Because words can lie for years. But a pattern always tells the truth. Step 2. Stop translating their cruelty into love. This is the quiet, exhausting work most people never name. For so long you have been a translator. A quiet, exhausted translator. You hear cruelty, and you translate it into love. You hear silence, and you translate it into care. You hear control, and you translate it into protection. You have been doing this so long you do not even notice. Most people stay stuck in toxic relationships because their mind has become a translation machine. Someone yells, and the mind whispers, they are stressed. Someone forgets your birthday, and the mind whispers, they are busy. Someone embarrasses you, and the mind whispers, they did not mean it. You translate, you translate, you translate, until you no longer remember what the original language was. Here is the truth most people never accept. Cruelty does not need a translator. Love does not need an excuse. Love is simple. Cruelty is the thing that always needs a costume. If you have to explain to yourself why something painful was kind, it was not kind. If you have to defend their behavior to your own heart, your heart already knows. A real I love you does not need a footnote. A real apology does not need 3 paragraphs of, but you also. A real friendship does not need you to constantly explain why your friend is acting like a stranger. Imagine a parrot in a cage. The parrot has been there for years. Every time the owner shouts, the parrot listens, then turns to the children and softly says, "He did not mean it." Every time the owner slams a door, the parrot whispers, "He had a hard day." Every time the owner forgets to feed it, the parrot says, "He is busy with important things." The children grow up believing the parrot. They believe the cage is a home. They believe the silence is safety. They believe the shouting is love. Until one day, a neighbor walks in. Why is this parrot translating? Why does no one in this house just speak the truth? You have been the parrot in someone else's cage, translating their cruelty for the children of your own heart. It is time to stop. It is time to let the truth speak in its own voice. There was a man named Hugo. His father had a sharp tongue. From the time Hugo was small, his father said cruel things at the dinner table, and every time, Hugo's mother smiled gently. "Your father is just tired. Your father loves you in his own way." Hugo grew up believing cruelty was love wearing a strange face. So when he became a husband, he chose someone who shouted, someone who criticized, someone who punished him with silence. And every time, Hugo translated. She is stressed. She loves me in her own way. She is tired. Translation after translation, year after year. One night, his small daughter looked up from her plate. "Daddy, why is Mummy always angry at you?" Hugo opened his mouth to translate, and no words came out. He sat in silence, and in that silence, the lifelong translation finally collapsed. He looked at his daughter and said, "You are right. She is angry. And it is not love." That night, Hugo stopped translating, and his real life began. So today, my friend, your second step is this. Catch yourself the next time you say, "But they did not mean it." Pause. Put your hand on your chest. Ask yourself, would I let someone do this to a child I love? If the answer is no, stop translating. Start naming. Say what happened in plain words. They yelled, they lied, they left, they mocked. Plain words are not cruel. Plain words are clean. Plain words are how you find your way back to yourself. So from today, say this. I no longer translate cruelty. I no longer dress pain in pretty words. And let the truth speak in its own voice. Plainly, simply, honestly. That is step 2. Stop translating their cruelty into love. Because the moment you stop softening their words, you finally hear your own. Step 3. End the rescue role. Many of you, my friend, did not fall into a toxic relationship. You volunteered. You stepped in. You signed up. You said, in some quiet part of your heart, if I love them enough, I can save them. If I am kind enough, I can heal them. If I am patient enough, I can finally fix what no one else could. This is the rescue role, and it has cost you everything. Most people do not realize that the rescue role is not love. It is fear wearing a kind costume. You are afraid that if you stop saving them, they will collapse. You are afraid that without your sacrifice, you will not be needed. So you keep rescuing. You keep paying. You keep apologizing for problems that are not yours. Here is the truth most people never accept. You cannot rescue an adult who refuses to do their own healing. You cannot carry someone who keeps removing their own legs. You cannot pour water into a cup that turns itself upside down. Love does not save. Love supports. There is a huge, life-changing difference. A rescuer makes the other person smaller. A supporter makes the other person stronger. A rescuer is needed forever. A supporter is loved forever. You were never meant to be needed. You were meant to be loved. Imagine a river that runs through a quiet village. The river is generous. It feeds the gardens. It cools the air. It gives the children somewhere to play. Then one day, a farmer builds a wall in the middle of the river. The water keeps flowing. It crashes against the wall. It floods the gardens. The farmer says, "The river is the problem." So the river decides to slow itself down. It becomes a trickle. It punishes itself. It tries to be smaller for the wall. But the wall keeps standing, and eventually, the village dies of thirst. Because the river forgot a very simple truth. The river is not the problem. The wall is. And the river was never meant to make itself small. The river was meant to flow. You are the river, my friend. And no amount of shrinking will turn the wall into water. There was a woman named Arya. She married a kind, broken man. She believed her love would heal him. She paid his bills. She apologized for his behavior. She lied to her family to protect his image. She gave up her dream job to manage his moods. Years passed. He was still broken. She was now broken too. One winter morning, Arya sat on the kitchen floor and cried so hard she could not breathe. Her best friend came over, sat beside her, and said one quiet sentence. "Arya, who is rescuing you?" The question split her chest open. She had no answer. From that day, Arya slowly stepped out of the rescue role. She stopped paying. She stopped apologizing. She stopped translating. He did not collapse the way she feared. He simply found someone new to rescue him. And Arya, for the first time in 12 years, sat down in her own life and said, "Oh, so I existed all along." So today, my friend, your third step is this. Make a small list. Write down every problem you are currently solving for someone else that is not your problem. Their bills, their silence, their reputation, their feelings about your boundaries. Read the list slowly. Then ask, if I stopped doing this, would the world end? Or would they just have to grow? That answer is your freedom. So from today, say this. I'm not a rescuer. I am a person. I love from a place of strength, not from a place of fear. That is step 3. End the rescue role. Because the people who truly love you do not need to be saved. They walk beside you, not behind you. Step 4. Block the silent contracts. There are contracts in your life you never signed with your hand. You signed them with your silence, with your overgiving, with your refusal to disappoint, with every yes that should have been a no. These are silent contracts, and toxic people live on them. They feed on the rules you never read out loud. Most people, they feel obligated to show up at every event, smile at every cruel joke, host every holiday, lend every dollar, listen to every long phone call about problems they did not cause. They cannot explain why. They just know that breaking the rule comes with punishment. Cold silence, family gossip, guilt, tears, the whole machine. Here is the truth most people never accept. A contract you never read out loud is still controlling your life. You agreed to invisible rules years ago when you were too young or too tired to argue, and those rules now run your calendar, your money, your weekends, and your peace of mind. You are allowed to read the contract. You are allowed to refuse to renew it. You're allowed to write a new one in your own handwriting. Boundaries are not betrayal. Boundaries are simply the moment you stop signing things in your sleep. Imagine an old wooden cabin in a quiet forest. The cabin has been in the family for generations. Inside, there is a long shelf. On the shelf are dusty papers. Each paper is a contract written by someone before you. One paper says, "You will always answer the phone." Another says, "You will never make your mother cry, even if she is wrong." Another says, "You will host every holiday. You will smile at every cruel uncle." You have been obeying these papers your whole life, and you never even read them. One night, you light a small lamp. You take the papers off the shelf. You read. every single one. And for the first time, you see your own name signed at the bottom in a handwriting that was never really yours. You take a fresh page, you write new rules, and you sleep, for the first time, in a cabin that finally belongs to you. There was a man named Daniel. Every Sunday for 25 years, he drove 3 hours to his uncle's house. Every Sunday, his uncle insulted him at dinner. Every Sunday, Daniel laughed politely. He had never agreed to this out loud. He had simply been doing it since he was 18. One Sunday, his back was hurting. His work was overwhelming. His heart was tired. He picked up the phone. His hand shook. "Uncle, I will not be coming this Sunday, or next Sunday. I love you, but I am tired." His uncle exploded. The whole family called. Daniel did not break. He simply repeated, "I love you. I am tired. I am not coming." 2 months passed. The world did not end. His uncle eventually called and said, "Maybe come for 1 hour next month." Daniel said, "1 hour?" With kindness. Yes. A new contract had been written in his own handwriting for the first time. So today, my friend, your 4th step is this. Take a piece of paper. Make a list of everything you do out of guilt instead of love. Visiting, calling, lending, apologizing, hosting, pretending. Then choose just one thing on that list. Just one. And gently, lovingly, refuse to renew it this week. Not with cruelty, with clarity. "No, I cannot do that this week." That sentence is the new ink. Use it. So from today, say this. I do not sign contracts in silence. I read what I obey. I obey only what is true. That is step 4. Block the silent contracts. Because peace begins the moment you stop honoring rules you never agreed to. Step 5. Refuse the loyalty test. Toxic people love loyalty tests. Not loyalty, tests. They want proof. They want sacrifices. They want you to choose them over your own peace, over your own friends, your own logic, your own body. And they call this love. But it is not love. It is theater, and you have been on the stage too long. It is time to walk off. Most people fall into loyalty tests without noticing. If you really loved me, you would not see them. If you really respected me, you would forgive that. If you really cared about this family, you would not bring that up. Each sentence is a small test. Pass the test, and you get a moment of warmth. Fail the test, and you get coldness, punishment, drama. So you learn to pass. You learn to shrink. You learn to keep choosing them, even when them includes choosing against yourself. Even when them means quietly disappearing. Here is the truth most people never accept. Real love never asks you to betray yourself to prove it. Real love wants you whole. Real love wants you to keep your friends, your dreams, your boundaries. Anyone who demands you abandon yourself to keep them is not asking for love. They are asking for ownership. You are allowed to love someone deeply and still refuse the test. You are allowed to honor a relationship and still honor your own truth. Loyalty without self-respect is just slow erasure dressed in sweet words. Imagine an old oak tree in an open field. Its roots run deep. Its branches stretch wide. Every spring, a small group of birds lands on the oak. If you love us, you must let us cut your roots. We do not like how strong they are. They make us feel small. The oak loves the birds. So one root, then another falls. Year after year, the oak gets weaker. Its leaves yellow. Its branches sag. The birds say, "See, you are too strong. Now you are just right." But a strong wind comes. The oak falls. The birds fly away to another tree. They were never loyal. They were only comfortable. because the oak kept passing their test, until it had nothing left to give. Do not become that oak, my friend. There was a woman named Naomi. Her best friend since childhood was beautiful and charming, but cruel. The friend tested Naomi for years. If you really cared about me, you would not have told that story. If you really loved me, you would not have been so happy when she got engaged. Naomi kept passing. She apologized. She quieted herself. She made herself smaller and smaller, until she barely recognized her own laugh. One evening, Naomi was at a dinner. Her friend mocked her in front of everyone. The whole table laughed. Naomi laughed too. She always did. But that night, walking home alone, she stopped under a streetlight. She felt the cold air on her face. She heard a small voice in her chest. I cannot keep auditioning for someone who already cast me as the joke. She did not send a long message. She did not explode. She simply, slowly, stopped responding to the tests. And one morning, 2 months later, she realized her shoulders did not hurt anymore. Loyalty without dignity had been her quiet pain. She had finally walked off the stage. And the silence felt like sunlight. So today, my friend, your 5th step is this. Notice the next time someone uses these words. If you really loved me, if you really cared, if you really respected me, pause inside. That is a test. Quietly ask yourself, what is this test really demanding I give up? Then choose this. You can love them and still keep yourself. You can answer with calm, kind words. I love you, and I am not going to do that. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Without defending, without proving, without auditioning. So from today, say this. I do not pass tests to be loved. I do not betray myself to belong. Real love does not audition me. That is step 5. Refuse the loyalty test. Because the people who love you the most will never ask you to disappear to prove it. Step 6. Stop replying to the same fight. Some fights, my friend, are not fights. They are loops. They wear different clothes, but they are the same conversation. Recycled for years. The same accusation, the same defense, the same apology, the same silence, the same recovery. And then the same fight again 3 weeks later, in a slightly different room, with slightly different words. You walk out exhausted. They walk out unchanged. And nothing was ever truly resolved. Most people keep replying because they believe one more good explanation will finally do it. One more clear sentence. One more calm conversation. One more clever way of saying what they have already said 100 times. So they sharpen their words. They prepare their lines. They go back into the loop, hoping this time the other person will hear. They never do. Because they were never trying to. Here is the truth most people never accept. Some people do not argue to understand. They argue to win. They argue to confuse. They argue to drain you. The conversation is not a search for truth. It is a tactic. And the only way to win this kind of fight is to stop showing up to it. Silence is not weakness. Silence is not surrender. Silence, when it is chosen, is the most powerful sentence you can speak. The moment you stop replying to the same fight, the loop loses its fuel. The fire cannot burn without your breath. Imagine a rusted bicycle in the rain. You climb on. You start pedaling. The chain slips. The wheels do not turn. You pedal harder. Your legs burn. The rain soaks through your clothes. You fix the chain. You climb back on. You pedal again. The chain slips again. For years, you pedal in the same place, soaked, bleeding, exhausted, hoping that one more push will move you forward. But the bicycle was broken before you ever sat on it. And you do not need to fix the bicycle. You just need to step off and walk home on your own 2 feet. There was a man named Idris. He had the same fight with his older brother every family dinner for 15 years. The same accusation, the same insult, the same long, painful conversation in the kitchen at midnight. Idris always thought, if I just explain it the right way, he will finally see. He prepared notes. He rehearsed sentences. He stayed calm. He cried. He apologized. He got angry. Nothing worked. One winter, sitting in his car after another exhausting dinner, Idris realized something. His brother was not lost. His brother was just choosing. Choosing to misunderstand. Choosing to attack. Choosing the loop. So Idris made a quiet decision. The next time the loop began, he did not raise his voice. He did not defend. He simply said, I love you, and I'm not going to have this conversation again. His brother pushed. Idris repeated. His brother got louder. Idris stayed soft. The fight had nowhere to go. 2 years later, Idris and his brother were closer than ever. Not because Idris had won the fight, because Idris had stopped fighting it. So today, my friend, your 6th step is this. Identify the one fight you keep having, with one toxic person in your life. Write it in one short sentence. We always fight about money. We always fight about my partner. We always fight about the past. Now decide. The next time it begins, you will not enter. You will say kindly, I'm not going to talk about that today. If they push, repeat. If they push again, repeat softer. You are not being cold. You are simply unhooking from a wheel that was never going to move forward. Step off the broken bicycle. So from today, say this. I do not feed loops. I do not pedal broken bikes. My energy is sacred, and I spend it where it grows things. That is step 6. Stop replying to the same fight. Because peace is not won by arguing better. Peace is won by leaving the argument behind. Step 7. Reclaim the version of you they erased. Toxic people, my friend, are very good at editing. They edit your memories. They edit your laugh. They edit the parts of you that make you sparkle. Slowly, year by year, they take out scenes from your life, until the movie of you no longer feels like yours. You start to dress quieter, speak quieter, dream quieter. You forget the songs you used to love. You forget the way you used to dance in the kitchen. You forget the version of you that existed before they walked in. Most people do not realize this is happening until one day they look in the mirror and do not recognize the eyes looking back. Where is the laugh? Where is the loud, free voice? Where is the person who used to write poetry, paint clumsy paintings, talk to strangers, wear strange colors? She is not gone. He is not gone. They are not gone. They are just hidden, buried under years of trying to keep the peace. Here is the truth most people never accept. The healing is not just about leaving the toxic person. The healing is about going back into the rooms of yourself they locked and turning the lights back on. You owe yourself that journey. Every old laugh, every old dream, every old version of you that was loud and silly and free. They are still inside you, waiting for you to remember. You do not need to invent a new self. You need to rescue the original. Imagine a garden that has been ignored for years. The owner stopped watering it. The owner stopped pulling weeds. The owner walked past it every day saying, "There is nothing left here. It is all dead." But underneath the weeds, the roots are still alive, sleeping, waiting. The roses are dreaming under the dirt. The lavender remembers its own smell. The mint is patient. One spring, the owner kneels down. She pulls one weed. She waters one corner. She plants one new seed. And slowly, week by week, the garden begins to wake up. It is not a new garden. It is the same one, finally being seen again. That is what is happening inside you. Your old self is not dead. She is just covered. Pull one weed today. Water one corner. There was a woman named Mariam. Before her marriage, she danced. She painted. She wore yellow. She laughed loud in restaurants, but over 15 years with a controlling husband, every part of that disappeared. The yellow became grey. The dancing became sitting. The laugh became quiet. After her divorce, Mariam felt empty. Not because she missed him, because she did not know who she was anymore. One afternoon, she opened an old box in the attic. Inside, she found a yellow dress, a paintbrush dry with old color, and a photo of herself, 25 years old, laughing so hard her eyes were closed. She held the photo and whispered, "Hello. I am sorry I lost you. I am here now." That night, she put on the yellow dress. She danced alone in her kitchen, and she cried, not from pain, but from reunion. The version of her he had erased was still inside her, exactly where she had left her. So today, my friend, your 7th step is this. Sit somewhere quiet. Close your eyes. Ask yourself, what did I love before this person made me forget? A song, a food, a hobby, a way of dressing, a sense of humor, a dream. Pick just one, and do it this week. Even for 10 minutes. Play the song, cook the food, wear the color, write the poem. You are not being silly. You are visiting an old friend, the most important friend you have ever had. You. So from today, say this. I return to myself. I unbury my voice. I light the rooms inside me they tried to lock. That is step 7. Reclaim the version of you they erased. Because the most beautiful revenge is not loud. It is becoming, quietly, exactly who you were always meant to be. Step 8. Build the soft fortress. After everything you have learned, my friend, you might be tempted to build walls. High walls. Cold walls. Walls of anger. Walls of distrust. Walls that keep everyone out, just to make sure no one ever hurts you again. I understand that. I have felt it too. But walls do not heal you. Walls only freeze you in the shape of the wound. Most people who survive toxic relationships swing too far in one direction. They close their hearts completely. They become sharp. They become cold. They tell themselves, I will never let anyone in again. And while that protects them from one kind of pain, it locks them out of every kind of joy. A closed heart is a safe heart. A closed heart is also a lonely one. Here is the truth most people never accept. The strongest people are not the ones with the highest walls. They are the ones with the softest hearts, behind the clearest boundaries. You can be tender and protected at the same time. You can love deeply and still say no. You can let new people in slowly, watch their pattern, and keep your softness intact. That is the soft fortress. Walls clear, heart warm, eyes open. You did not survive years of pain to become hard. You survived to become wise. There is a difference. Hard people break the next time they fall. Wise people bend and stay whole. Imagine a kintsugi pot. A clay pot that was once shattered. Instead of throwing it away, the artist gathered every piece and glued them back together with gold. The cracks became golden lines. The breaks became beauty. The pot is not as it was before. It is stronger. It is more beautiful. It holds water better than ever. Because the artist understood something most people forget. Broken things, repaired with gentleness, become more beautiful than unbroken things ever were. You are not damaged, my friend. You are kintsugi. Your scars are gold. Your softness, mixed with what you have learned, is precious. There was a man named Elias. After years of being controlled in a bad marriage, he came out hard. He blocked everyone. He distrusted everyone. He laughed less. He became sharp at work and silent at home. People said, he is finally strong. But Elias knew the truth. He was not strong. He was scared. He had built walls so thick that even joy could not enter. One evening, his daughter, only 7 years old, climbed into his lap and asked, "Dad, why don't you laugh anymore?" Elias did not have an answer. That night he sat in the dark and cried. For the first time in 3 years, he realized he had let the toxic relationship win twice. Once when it broke him, and again when it turned him into stone. So he made a slow, brave decision. He would not become bitter. He would become wise. He would keep his boundaries clear, but he would let his heart breathe again. He started laughing. Slowly, awkwardly, truly. His walls became gates. His silence became softness. And his daughter got her father back. So today, my friend, your 8th step is this. Notice where you have built a wall instead of a boundary. A wall says, no one comes in, ever. A boundary says, people come in slowly and only if they are kind. Pick one wall and turn it gently into a gate. Maybe it is letting one safe friend back in. Maybe it is laughing again at a small joke. Maybe it is letting yourself receive a compliment without flinching. Soft fortress, clear edges, warm center. That is who you are now. So from today, say this. I am not bitter. I am wise. I have walls where I need them, and windows where I want them. That is step 8. Build the soft fortress. Because the goal was never to become unbreakable. The goal was always to become unrecognizable in your softness, your wisdom, and your peace. Step 9. Walk away in the slow, quiet, complete way. For our final step, my friend, we come to the hardest one. The one that makes the difference between healing and repeating. You must learn how to walk away. Not the loud way, not the dramatic way, not the slamming doors and burning bridges way. The slow, quiet, complete way. The way that does not need an audience. The way that does not need an explanation. The way that lets the door close behind you with a soft click that the universe hears. Most people walk away wrong. They walk away angry, then come back when they feel guilty. They walk away loud, then come back when they feel lonely. They walk away halfway, keeping a small thread connected just in case. And the toxic person, who is patient and skilled at this, simply waits, pulls the thread, pulls them back. The cycle starts again. The candle gets blown out again. The translation begins again. Years pass. Nothing changes. Until you change how you leave. Here is the truth most people never accept. A real walkaway is not loud. It is not even angry. It is calm. It is final. It is so quiet that the toxic person does not even realize at first that the door has closed. There is no big speech. There is no farewell letter that becomes ammunition. There is no "watch me transform" performance. There is just you, gently, lovingly, slowly, removing yourself from a place that was never going to grow you. Walking away is not abandonment. Walking away is the deepest form of self-loyalty. It is you, finally, being on your own side. Imagine suitcases on a long road. You have been carrying these suitcases for years. They are full of memories, contracts, apologies, hopes, and old promises. Every time you try to leave, something heavy falls out, and you stop to pick it up. You go back, you cry, you stay. But this time, something is different. You walk slowly. You do not shout. You do not announce. You simply put one foot in front of the other. The suitcases get lighter as you walk. Some of them quietly fall open. Some of the old promises drop out and disappear into the wind. Some of the apologies you used to chase, you simply leave on the side of the road. By the time you reach the next town, your hands are empty. Your back is straight. Your eyes are wet but clear. You did not run. You did not slam. You walked. And the road behind you went quiet. There was a man named Ezra. He spent 15 years tied to a toxic friend group. They shamed him. They gossiped about him. They called him too sensitive every time he spoke up. He had tried screaming at them. He had tried explaining. He had tried writing long messages. Nothing worked. They would mock the messages. They would gather without him. They would laugh louder. One quiet Tuesday, Ezra simply did not show up to the weekly dinner. Then he did not show up the next week. He did not write a speech. He did not announce a goodbye. He simply, slowly, became unavailable. He stopped chasing. He stopped explaining. He let the silence speak. Months later, when one of them texted, "Where have you been, Drama King?" Ezra wrote one short sentence. "I love you. I wish you well. I am simply not coming back." He did not argue. He did not defend. He blocked. He breathed. He went home, made tea, and sat with his own quiet heart for the first time in 15 years. And that night, he did not feel lonely. He felt found. So today, my friend, your 9th step is this. Pick one toxic dynamic in your life, just one. Then ask, am I trying to fix this loudly, or can I leave it quietly? If quietly is possible, choose quietly. Stop explaining. Stop replying. Stop defending your choices. Just slowly, kindly, completely withdraw your presence. No fireworks, no fights. Just a soft, final click of a door that you, finally, have the right to close. So from today, say this. I do not slam doors. I close them. I do not fight battles I have already won by leaving. I walk away with peace, not poison. That is step 9. Walk away in the slow, quiet, complete way. Because the loudest goodbye is rarely the deepest one. The deepest goodbye is the one that does not need to be heard, only lived. So, my friend, here we are, at the end of our 9 steps, at the door of a quieter life. Let us breathe through them once more, slowly. Step 1. See the pattern, not the apology. Step 2. Stop translating their cruelty into love. Step 3. End the rescue role. Step 4. Block the silent contracts. Step 5. Refuse the loyalty test. Step 6. Stop replying to the same fight. Step 7. Reclaim the version of you they erased. Step 8. Build the soft fortress. Step 9. Walk away in the slow, quiet, complete way. Read those steps again, in your own time. Print them. Tape them to your wall. Let them become a quiet companion when the world gets loud. Because everything you need to heal from a toxic person is already inside those 9 sentences. Now hear me, my friend. Hear me carefully. You were not put on this earth to be drained by people who refuse to grow. You are not given this one short, beautiful life to spend it apologizing to those who do not value you. You were not meant to translate cruelty, rescue strangers, sign silent contracts, pass loyalty tests, fight loops, lose your sparkle, build cold walls, and stay where you are, slowly disappearing. You were meant to live softly, fully, freely. So tonight, place your hand on your chest. Feel the slow, steady beat. That heart has been through more than anyone knows. And it is still here, still beating, still hoping, still you. Say this with me, slowly, 3 times. I am tired, but I am still here. I am hurt, but I am still healing. I am quiet, but I am finally free. Again. I am tired, but I am still here. I am hurt, but I am still healing. I am quiet, but I am finally free. One more time. I am tired, but I am still here. I am hurt, but I am still healing. I am quiet, but I am finally free. beautiful. Take that breath in. Hold it. Let it out. If this video reached even one corner of your heart tonight, do me one small favor. In the comments, write the word free. Just that one word. Because someone scrolling tomorrow at 3 in the morning, lonely, exhausted, ready to give up, will see your word, and it will be the small light that keeps them here. Your free might save someone's week. That is the kindest thing the internet can do. And tell me, of these 9 steps, which one will you start with this week? Step 1, 2, or step 9? I read every comment. I sit with every story. I am here. Subscribe if you would like to walk with me again. Next week, next month, the week your heart needs another quiet hour like this. I will be here, my friend. Same craft paper, same slow voice, same warm corner of the internet. Waiting for you. Stay strong, stay soft, stay rising.